And I'd love to know, are the rumours true? Were you close to actually signing Lewandowski when you were at Blackburn?
Yes, I mean, I'm glad at some stage or other it resurfaced a few years ago that he actually talked about it. Because as time goes on, you would think people would look at you and think, "Yeah, telling fibs, you're pulling our legs, like you mean." But me and my head of recruitment, Martin Glover, who's now at Leicester City Football Club, by the way, who's the head of recruitment there now, at Blackburn, said there's this player out in Poland and we need to go and see him. And I used to didn't quite do it in the latter years because it was virtually impossible, but I used to try and go as much as I could to watch some of the players on top of our list. This was Lewandowski playing for his team in Poland. And when we got there, it was snowing. We drove about 3 hours. We sat in the stand, freezing cold.
Were you in disguise?
No. I had a cap on, a hat and that, so a scarf and a big coat. And watched him play. And it was a little difficult because there was some snow on the surface, like I mean. But I just said, listen, I'm taking your word for it. I've seen him. Yes, I can see some qualities in him, but you tell me you're convinced he'll help us, then I'm going to recommend to the board we sign him. And that's always a very important thing to do to your head of recruitment.
Believe in them.
Who would I sign from your recommendation that you stand behind more than anybody else? I'll sign him. And you need to do that, I think you need to, because they can sit, scouts and head of recruitment can sit, well, you need to watch him. Somebody else needs to watch him. When you're head of recruitment, you need to make that decision and say, Gaffer, sign this player, he'll make you better. And so he stuck his neck on the line. I had a huge amount of difficulty with John Williams, the chairman, finding, I think it was about €8 million. And he was due to fly out. I'm not saying he was going to sign, but certainly finish or try and finish terms off, but wanted to fly out, which we thought, well, we might get this in the bag. Because if they flew out to me, if they went back, they've said no. Mm-hmm. Or if they're on the way back, they're on the way back to pack the bags because they've signed. Yeah. I would not let anybody leave the club once I got them in the building if we wanted to sign them until they'd said yes or no.
Yeah.
Because normally what happens is if they say, I think about it, then you very rarely sign them. So when he was due to come over, we had the Icelandic eruption and the ash cloud.
No, that was when he was.
Yeah. And this was him talking about that, I think, a few years ago. So he couldn't get here. He couldn't get on the plane, apparently, that particular time. And he can't have been that keen because he signed for, I think, a few days after he signed for Dortmund, I think it was. But, yeah, one of those that... It's not just a loss of it, it's the story.
I love the story,
yeah. You know what I mean? Because there's been a few of those that we would have liked to have signed but didn't quite manage to pull off.